Hi, welcome back to day 13 of the Light the World, Build the Kingdom Challenge, where each day we ask God what is one thing we can do to light the world, to make the world a better place, and then act upon whatever comes. Today I was looking at the story found in Matthew 25, where Jesus talks about at the last day that the sheep will be gathered on the right hand of God and the goats on the left hand of God. And the sheep will be brought into the kingdom and the goats will be cast out. And the main differentiator is what he tells the sheep. This is what he tells the sheep. And this is what he says the Father will say. Blessed, you will inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. And then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee hungered, or fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, or came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Years ago, I used to raise goats, and had 3 goats. And this story about the sheep and the goats, were the wicked go on to say, well, he tells them, I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. And he's like, well, they said, well, when did we see you and not do these things for you? And he says, well, inasmuch as you did them not unto the least of these, you did them not to me. This story drives home how much what we do for other people, God considers it as if we've done it to him or not done it to him. So back to my story about having some goats. My oldest boy and I had these 3 goats. And I had one little tiny goat, and she was sweet. She'd just do whatever you wanted her to. The middle one was a little obstinate, but pretty well. You could get her to do what you wanted her to. But I had this one big goat with horns. And she helped me understand this parable of what Jesus is talking about with the goats. If I would put food out for these goats, Wilma, the goat with the horns, Wilma would get in there and she would go straight at the food, and she'd use her horns to butt everybody else away for the food. So I had to take and make another trough of food farther away, several feet away, and feed Hannah and Danny, the 2 other little goats, off to the side. But Wilma wasn't satisfied with just having a whole trough to herself. She would eat out of it, and then she'd run over and butt the other ones away from their trough. And then once they would moved away and went over to go back to where she was, she'd come over there and she'd butt them away from that one. And when they'd run back over to their food, she'd run over there and butt them away from that one. She wanted not only her own, but she wanted everybody else's. And she was like the, poster child for selfishness. And she was just so consumed about what she wanted and didn't want anybody else to have anything else. And I think that's kind of why Jesus used the goats as the analogy on this. It was kind of a fun illustration of that selfishness of not only, not thinking about somebody else, not helping them, but not really wanting them to have it either, and this kind of a scarcity thought mentality. And you might think, well, I don't think I do that. I don't think I do that either. But sometimes we might do that with things we don't even have, like we might not even be willing to share things that we think we're scarce in. For example, let's say if we didn't have enough money to even pay our bills, well, we wouldn't want to give, and that's okay. But would we give if we had the money, or would we hoard it up, thinking, what if it goes away and I need to keep it for later or something? I better store all this up. I can't share it now because it might disappear later or something like that. So it's sort of a, what would we be like even if we had something to share? Would we share it, or would we still be going into this kind of scarcity, there's not enough, I got to keep it all for me kind of mentality? So I don't know, there's just some interesting lessons to be learned from those goats and the sheep. And the sheep just do what the master says. They trust him, they go where he wants them to go. They're not really obsessed over whether they've got enough of everything. They just trust the master to feed them. They're very, they just follow the leader, follow the master. So anyway, that's my thoughts for today. But the main point I wanted to bring home with the Light the World, Build the Kingdom challenge is whatever you choose to do, whatever you feel led to do and you do it, you're really doing it to God. Or if you feel prompted to do it and you don't do it, it's like you didn't do it for your Father in heaven. It's that tide, how we treat other people. When we're in the service of our fellow beings, we're in the service of our God. We're only in his service. And he considers all of us his children. So, all right, y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless, and I hope you'll keep going with us in the challenge, or if you haven't started yet, start right here today. Take care. Bye-bye.